Take a moment and imagine. You are trapped in darkness, floating in a cold and silent void, completely alone. Your breath becomes shallow, your heart pounds uncontrollably. No one can hear you. Desperation, fear, and hopelessness consume you. There is no turning back now. The only thought echoing in your mind is the realization that the end is inevitable. This is not fiction. This is an untold reality. The space race of the Cold War era is often remembered for its triumphs, yet hidden in the shadows are the stories of those who were lost, their voices never heard. Perhaps what we know is only the tip of the iceberg. If you want more content like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support is invaluable to us. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched its space exploration program, which quickly turned into an intense competition with the United States. This rivalry began on October 4, 1957, with the launch of Sputnik 1. The United States responded almost 4 months later with the launch of Explorer 1. But on April 12, 1961, the Soviet Union achieved a historic milestone. Yuri Gagarin became the first human to orbit the Earth aboard Vostok 1, completing a 108-minute journey around our planet. His successful return solidified the Soviet Union's dominance in the space race. This victory paved the way for even more daring missions. On June 16, 1963, Valentina Tereshkova became the first woman in space aboard Vostok 6. She orbited the Earth 48 times over 3 days before successfully returning. This was a monumental step in humanity's space journey. However, some claims suggest that Valentina Tereshkova was not the first woman in space. The Soviet Union, eager to maintain its political superiority, allegedly concealed failed missions. As a result, the world remained unaware of several other secret experiments. During these covert Soviet space missions, Sputnik 1 transmitted broad radio signals that were picked up by many listeners across the globe. Among them were 2 Italian brothers, Achille and Giovanni Giudica Cordiglia. In the late 1950s, they set up an amateur radio station and began tracking Soviet space activity. On November 3, 1957, they successfully intercepted signals from Sputnik 2, which carried Laika, the first living creature to travel to space. These signals transmitted Laika's vital signs to Earth. The Italian brothers managed to record these signals, even monitoring Laika's heartbeat. However, during the flight, the cabin temperature reached 43 degrees Celsius, causing Laika's vital signs to weaken rapidly. Encouraged by their success, the Giudica Cordiglia brothers expanded their listening station and continued tracking undisclosed Soviet missions. By late 1959, they had intercepted radio transmissions from several failed Soviet spaceflights. On November 28, 1960, they detected a weakening signal from a satellite. A year later, in February 1961, they recorded an even more unsettling transmission, the panicked breathing of a human. More disturbingly, between 1961 and 1967, approximately 11 failed Soviet space missions were reportedly hidden from public knowledge. Among the intercepted recordings, one stood out: a female cosmonaut seemingly trapped inside her spacecraft. Her desperate voice, captured in the transmission, revealed a terrifying reality. She was alone, the cabin temperature was rising, and her spacecraft was out of control. These chilling recordings remain some of history's most mysterious audio files. And now, you are about to hear that moment, the terrifying final minutes of a human, abandoned in the cold, infinite void of space. The Italian brothers interpreted this recording as the last words of the lost cosmonaut. Imagine being inside that small capsule, knowing that your oxygen is depleting, the temperature is rising, and death is imminent. No cry for help will be answered, no voice will reach you. Alone in the endless void of space, trapped in utter despair. Of course, the authenticity of these recordings remains a topic of debate. Official Soviet archives contain no records of such missions, yet the concealment of failures was entirely possible. The space race was not just about scientific progress, it was a political power struggle. A failure of this magnitude would have been an unacceptable defeat for the Soviet Union. Today, space exploration is more transparent, yet the shadows of the past still conceal unanswered questions. If these recordings are real, the brave individuals they captured will never be named, their stories never told. They remain forgotten ghosts of history, lost in the depths of time. But now we listen to their final moments. That woman's voice is not just a recording, it is the final cry of a human facing death, desperately trying to return home. Her words echo into the abyss. Can you hear me? It's so hot I can't get out. Can you feel her fear, her isolation, her awareness of the inevitable? Perhaps this is the most tragic sound ever recorded in space. Perhaps it is a truth history wanted us to forget. If these recordings are fake, the question they raise is even more profound. What has humanity sacrificed in the name of discovery? And more importantly, are we truly listening? Or, just like in the past, will we continue to ignore these desperate cries?